Welcome. Today, we are diving into some really cool brain science that can literally lift your mood in an instant. And it all kicks off with a very simple, very relatable question. You know those days, right? You're just there. Nothing's actually wrong, but you feel kind of flat. You're not sad, you're not angry, you just feel empty. So you scroll through your phone, maybe put on some music, but nothing really cuts through that feeling. And you're just left thinking, oh, why can't I just feel good? Well, get ready for this. It turns out your brain can actually switch into a happier state in just 15 seconds. Seriously. And you don't have to change your entire life or force yourself to think positive thoughts or wait around for motivation to show up. It's all about knowing a few little tricks to work with your brain instead of against it. I mean, think about it. You can have two people go through the exact same stressful day. One of them is miserable all night long, just stewing in it. The other one, they shake it off and feel totally fine. The difference isn't what happened to them, it's how their brain reacted in those first few critical moments. See, your brain is built for speed, not necessarily for your happiness. So today, we're going to learn 3 super simple tricks that interrupt that automatic negative reaction. And you're definitely going to want to stick around because that third trick, it's an absolute game changer for how your brain handles pretty much everything. All right, let's jump right into our first trick. This one is all about using your own body to send a brand new message to your brain. It's called the face feedback switch.
So here's a fundamental secret about your brain. It listens to what your body is doing way faster than it listens to your conscious thoughts. Your face, especially, is sending it constant updates about how you should be feeling. It's like a direct hotline to your emotional control center.
Okay, let's actually try this together right now. Just gently raise your eyebrows, not in a surprised way, just a little lift. Now, unclench your jaw. Just let it hang loose. And finally, just slightly let the corners of your mouth lift up. It's not a big cheesy smile, just a relaxed, soft expression. Now, just hold that for about 15 seconds. So what's happening in your head right now? Well, your brain is getting this physical signal, and it's thinking, oh, okay, everything must be safe. And that simple physical change starts to lower stress chemicals like cortisol, and it actually boosts the feel-good ones. You didn't have to think happy thoughts, you just signaled safety. And this is so crucial. Most of us have it completely backwards. We wait until we feel happy, and then maybe we'll smile, but your brain works in reverse. You change the physical signal first, and the emotion actually follows along. Pretty cool, right? Let's see how we can build on this with trick number 2. Okay, so you've sent that safety signal to your brain. But what if your mind is still just racing, looping through anxious thoughts? That's where our second trick comes in. It's called the name it to tame it reset. This technique is almost ridiculously simple. The second you feel overwhelmed or anxious or just kind of blah, you just label it. You can say it out loud or just in your head. I am feeling stressed, or I am feeling irritated. And that's it. You don't analyze it, you don't judge it, you don't try to fix it, you just name it. And this is the magic of what happens next. The simple act of putting a name to the feeling flips a switch in your brain. It pulls you out of that emotional, chaotic reacting mode and puts you into your calm, logical thinking mode. It's the difference between being the emotion, like getting soaked in a rainstorm, and becoming an observer, watching that same storm from inside a warm, dry house. And the reason this works so fast is just fascinating. It turns out your brain literally can't be in a full-blown emotional panic and be logically labeling that panic at the exact same moment. They use different parts of the brain. So the act of naming it actually interrupts the emotional spiral, and it gives you just enough breathing room to get back in the driver's seat. And that brings us to our third and honestly most powerful trick. This one doesn't just manage stress, it actively creates the chemicals of happiness in your brain. This is the micro-win dopamine hit. So here is the big secret most of us get wrong about happiness. We think it's something that happens after we achieve a huge goal, right? But your brain doesn't actually work that way. It releases dopamine, that's the chemical of motivation and pleasure, not just when you get the big prize, but every single time it notices you're making progress. So how do we trigger this on demand? With a micro-win, a tiny, tiny action that takes less than 15 seconds. Just pick one from this list right now. Seriously, do it. Straighten up your posture. Or take one slow breath. Drink a sip of water. Put just one pen back where it belongs. That's it. That tiny little action just sent a signal of progress to your brain and released a little hit of dopamine. And this is why that old advice to just wait for motivation is so terrible. We have it completely backwards. Action comes first. The motivation, the good feeling, it follows as a result of the dopamine your brain releases when you do something. You don't need a huge life change to feel better. You just need a tiny bit of forward motion.
Okay, so how do we put all of this together into a routine? Let's map out a super simple reset that shows you just how much control you really have over how you feel.
The next time you feel that off feeling creeping in, just try this. First, soften your face to signal safety to your brain. Second, mentally name whatever it is you're feeling, just to observe it. And third, create one tiny win for yourself. Take a sip of water, stretch your arms, anything, to release that hit of dopamine. In less than a minute, you've completely changed your brain chemistry. And you know, the best part about all this? These aren't difficult habits you have to spend months trying to build. They're just switches. And once you know where the switches are, you're never really stuck. You always have a tool you can use to flip your own state of mind. So, if you take one thing away today, let it be this. Happiness isn't some magical thing out there that you have to go find. It's something you can literally activate inside your own brain. You now know how to signal safety, how to stop an emotional spiral, and how to trigger your own feel-good chemicals whenever you want. So the only question left is, which switch are you going to flip first?